Alright guys, here we go. You ready for it? You like it fast? You like high numbers? You like mobility? Here we go. Shuriken build. Bladedancer. It's a lot of fun. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you all a little gameplay first, and we'll jump into the build and kind of go through everything, how it's built, how everything kind of runs and flows. Now this character is a work in progress. So I still haven't gotten all the gear maxed out. Some of it hasn't even been really crafted yet, and I'm going the wrong way. But yeah, it's so far, even with just kind of thrown together stuff, it still does a ton of damage. Clears really fast, and having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, like as you can see, I'm only 62, so. Oh, there you are. So as you see, it's very mobile, but very fun. I love how all those, not one of them hit him. Not sure where you came from, but oh well. Alright, so that's it. So like I said, it's quick, does high numbers, it's very agile, can dodge a lot of hits, takes a lot, well, doesn't take a lot of damage because you pretty much dodge everything. But it can dish out a ton of damage really fast. I can essentially clear stuff for the most part just with using shift. I kind of just use smoke bomb and lethal mirage whenever I need to for like something that has more health, or just something that has dodge, or just something that's just being annoying and just doesn't want to die. For the most part, we do have a lot of electricity and some other stuff as well. So we're gonna go in and get into it. We're getting into the skills. We're gonna get into the passives, the gear. Now, when I do the gear, I'm gonna kind of go over what I have on right now, but I'm gonna show you a planner with everything of what I plan to have on it, with everything maxed out and all that stuff. So, and a couple things that you can change. Just if you're just trying to do speed runs as far as just farming gear or just playing it safe with defenses as well. So I'll give you some insight on that as well. First off, we're going to go into Shuriken. Essentially, I came down here. Now, I wouldn't really get into this just yet. I would kind of get that more of the end. But come up here, get the pierce, get the critical damage, critical multiplier. And then if you want, you can come over here, put 4 in here, and then 1 in here, just for the added DPS and the shock chance for resist and all that stuff. And then come down here and get this last. It's really nice because it turns the pierce into crit multiplier, so higher numbers. It does cost a little bit more mana, but it's alright. And it also allows them to ricochet, so instead of just hitting one enemy, they hit 2. You can put another one in here, like take 1 point, say, I mean, I wouldn't really want to take it out of there, so you could take the 1 point out of shock and put it in here. If you wanted to hit ricochet 2, I liked it with 2, it's just the mana cost was a little much for me. Now that I've got it kind of set up with this to get my mana back, it might actually be more viable. But it's kind of your own play style. You can kind of play with that. 1, sits pretty well to where I don't have to worry about mana at all. 2, you just have to kind of play it and see if it works for you. And then So that's pretty much it for Shuriken. Then we're going to go into Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb, we're going to come into Duration. The last point that I'm going to get is going to go into Duration as well. We've got the throw attack damage here. Then over here for the Leech. And then Shadow Chance. Then coming over here for starting area, frailty duration to add a frailty chance or stack on the enemies within it, and then Silver Shroud, which essentially gives you're gonna dodge the next attack, and then you also gain 100% or 100 ward. So the dodge is nice, and then the ward gained also helps mitigate portion of the next hit that's going to hit. So it works out really well. It's very good with survivability. Shift, we are going to come over here, 2 points into here. We're essentially just getting that to get over here to the shurikens. Then we're coming down here for mana, just to get over here for the invulnerability while you're shifting. Then come over here for haste buff, max that out to get the max speed, and then shadow created it after shifting, and then to cast Shadow Cascade for you at the end of the or after at the end of the shift. Then we're going to come up here for 2 points in here to get the damage increase from shift, which we're not worried about the damage from the shift itself. So this is just essentially to come over here to grab this for a little stun chance. Not really worried about stun chance. A little bit extra damage to my next damaging non-channel skill. And then going to come over here with the last point and put it over here to get 50% increased damage to the next one. But shift is shorter, which I'm not too worried about it being shorter. It's good for mobility, but I kind of more use this for that dash in and watch everything blow up and die type deal. So then we've got Shadow Cascade. Now this is just a proc skill. I generally don't really use it myself. Now I will sometimes use it if, say I see that there's a bunch of shadows out and there's a big area of enemies. I'll pop it real quick because it procs more the daggers that shoot out. It does it out in the area and then does then all the other, instead of it doing the shurikens in a straight cone shape, this does it around you to where it'll do it around and then all the shadows will do it around there, so it does a really good screen clear. So with it, we're going to come up here for damage per shadow. Increase physical damage for 4 seconds. That's 140% there. We come over here, or come down here for armor shred. This is just to come down here. Essentially we'll come to mana refund and then mana gain per shadow. And reason why I'm not kind of going through all these damage nodes and stuff like that. Now, coming into crit would help a little bit, but I need to come over here to essentially turn the melee. Since all my damage is throw, we've not really worried about anything melee based. So we come up over here, get damage, no attack speed, scaling. Come up here to get the sword and dagger, increase your damage. And then come over here to throw daggers and damage. And daggers thrown, so it turns into from 4 to 7. And then this to just give it more range for it to throw out. This is kind of up to you. You don't have to go there. You can take it out and then kind of go possibly put some points in here just to have a little bit more chance of having more shadows. in which that's what I'm gonna try. Since I'm okay with mana, I was gonna do 2 points in here, but I'm okay with mana, so I might actually go ahead and put the next point in here. Just a chance getting more shadows with it just means more chance of increased damage. And then Lethal Mirage. We're going to come over here to health and mana gain, just 1 point, to come over here and get 2 additional Mirages. And then Shadow Chance. Mirages have a chance to leave a shadow behind. And then we're coming over here for increased damage, melee leech on strike. Then we come down here for additional Mirage per shadow consumed. And then damage per shadow. So this one I'll be putting the last 2 points into this. Then we will come up here to haste duration, kill threshold, additional mirages, of course, and then they have a chance of casting Shadow Cascade for me, so that's another skill that they will cast that for me. And yeah, so that now, as far as this, you can take this point out here. Since it's such a low chance of them spawning, you could take the 2 points out of there and say kind of put 1 point in here, and then put one over here to get the base crit chance. Get a 6% base crit chance for this skill, which is definitely pretty nice. I actually might respec that and do that just to get that increased crit chance, because this skill does a ton of damage when it crits, especially with as much crit multipliers we're going to have in game. As far as the passives, as of right now, I have attack speed and physical damage. We have 1 point in here to get dual wield. Coming up here for the increased damage and dodge rating. Let me see something real quick. Okay. I just wanted to make sure as far as that. I had someone say something. I totally forgot to take my cam off, so just in case someone was over here. I had someone say that once, that I had some stuff that I was blocking. Sorry about that. Essentially here for the damage and dodge rating while dual wielding. Here for dodge rating and poison resistance. Up here for the crit chance. Then we're going to come down to Bladedancer. We have 6 points in here for dexterity and glancing blow. Dust Shroud here and health, just to get a little bit more health out of it. We're coming over here to get the increased damage when you consume flow, which you essentially gain a flow stack every time you use a skill. I don't know why it says unique skill, it's just any skill. And then up here to where you get a buff where you get increased melee attack speed, which we don't do, and throw attack speed. And then put 1 point in here to when you consume flow. There's a 100% chance of crit. There's a 100% chance of bleed. But it does make it to where it's every 5th strike instead of the 4th. And then here for increased damage and attack speed, this is that's melee attack speed, so it doesn't help us with the throw. So that's the only reason why I only put 1 point in there. Then we got the 10 in here for I'm going sword and dagger, so we'll get the 150% crit multiplier. Coming over here, we got 4 points in here for dodge, dodge while or damage while at full health, 60%. I will be maxing that one out. And then right now I have 5 in here, and then I'm gonna max this one out here as well for the increased multiplier. So the multiplier hits y'all saw earlier are gonna get a lot higher. Um, and then of course I'm gonna come up this way and put 1 point here and a point in there and get to this. And then max that out. And don't need any now. Just make sure if you do try to experiment, make sure you don't get anything that's for melee damage because you're not doing melee damage. You are doing physical damage, but not melee because you're not a melee character. You're actually doing all throw damage. Um, essentially, I'm like I said, I'm doing my gear, so my resistance are still kind of crap, and my dodge isn't nowhere near what I plan to have it being. Um, and so for the gear, now as far as the idols, I would generally recommend getting the ones that add flat damage to lightning for shurikens. I just have not been lucky to get any to drop. You can use stuff like this that gives multiplier while crit multiplier while dual wielding, and then say increased damage while wielding a sword or dagger on the bottom, kind of like what this one is. Using those and then crit chance. Um, as far as gear, this is just kind of what I'm wearing at the moment. Uh, these are the pieces that I'm going to be wearing. This is going to be pretty much everything here is what I'm going to be wearing except for the weapons, of course, just because I haven't been leveled up yet, and the helmet I haven't got leveled up high enough to get the helmet for the crit multiplier one yet. The uniques that you want to get to as soon as possible will be these claws to get the extra shurikens. Now, as far as damage output, there's not a ton of a difference between these two. It's just you get the extra 2 shurikens. So as leveling up, put those on as soon as you hit 8, because it's gonna make leveling up easy. And then you can use them until you get the. So I mean, you can see the damage there. And so you're still going to be hitting about 4K, kind of close to or right at what it was with the other one as well. It's just this one has health on it and more dodge rating. So this one will have a little bit more defensive side to it and decent damage as well. And you have a chance of throwing an axe as well, which will be more throw damage. So this is between these two, it's a very viable way to do either or. This one kind of helps with resist because it gives the physical resist on the on the armor base, and then like I said, the extra shuriken, which helps out quite a bit to where you hit more enemies. And then these just because you can have 3 resists on there, movement speed, and the whole mana when you stop moving is decent. Um, but it's just trying to get the resist kind of maxed out was a bit of a challenge to get everything where I wanted it without having to sacrifice as much damage as possible. Um, so as far as what I plan to have is essentially this type of weapon, where it'll have the physical damage, crit chance, and physical melee physical, which that doesn't matter. Um, so those are the stats that I'm going to have for these. They're pretty much the same. On the helmet, we are going to have the dexterity, physical void set, um, throw physical damage, and then physical throwing damage while dual wielding to get more flat damage. And then dexterity, dodge rating, lightning with shuriken, more flat damage, and then increase throw physical damage. And then we get more throw physical damage with mana reduction, hybrid health, elemental resist, and void resist. Same throw attack with mana reduction, hybrid leech. What did I have on there? Okay, yeah. Elemental resist, poison resist, and then on the belt we have dodge rating, elemental resist, set, and then elemental resist and physical resist. And then on the relic we have the physical void resist, crit multiplier, elemental resist, poison resist. Not sure if I went over the I don't think I went over the amulet. Throw damage, fire vulnerability, and then crit multiplier, necro resist, and void resist. That's essentially just to get more flat damage added to it. The more you add on it, the better. Uh, I mean, if you wanted to, you can change that out for crit, either or. I just like getting as much base damage to where my regular hits and crits are doing good damage. Transient rest boots, and then the claws as well. And like I said, as far as playing, this would be a good setup to, or well, that would be a good setup to be like going up against a boss where that might be something where, say, you don't have the high resist and you want to make sure you can just survive through it. I would use these two so you get the higher resist, extra dodge, stuff like that. But then whenever you're just going through monoliths and just trying to rush through them as fast as possible, you can flip it over to using these the claws instead of the river bends. You can use the claws and then put the Xerix Ambition boots on, because that'll give you a lot more crit multiplier when you're at full life. It does have leech and movement speed, so definitely a nice set of boots to do some high damage. To just kind of rush through or run through monoliths to farm or what have you. Um, so that is pretty much it. That is the build. I will have a build guide written up in the forums here this weekend. I hope y'all enjoyed the content. If you did, please smash that like button. I definitely appreciate it. If you want to keep up to date with my videos as I bring them out, um, smash that subscribe button so you're notified. Also, the Discord link is down below. Come join us, chit chat with us. We'd love to have you. I am actually going to be having a giveaway at the end of the month where I will be giving away a copy of Last Epoch. I am going to start doing a monthly giveaway where I will give away a game each month to a lucky winner. So if you want in on the drawings, subscribe here. I will be drawing from subscribers to the YouTube and people that join the Discord as well. So I hope y'all enjoyed everything. My name is Devin from Daily Art Gaming. You all have a great one.